Hey guys, how cool was that little intro? I want to here in the Awakening Humanity series, we're really going to cover what it takes for humanity to wake up, to realize our full potential. It seems to me that we have been boxed up, we have limited ourselves, we have these myth perceptions that have infiltrated our deeply ingrained belief system about who we are, why we're here, and where we're going. And so it's in this series that I really want to unpack on a deeper level what it takes to move forward, particularly in this time that we find ourselves in, where we're moving through the cycle of the great year cycles, the precession of the equinox. And so a lot is unraveling. And what I feel is that it's important to acknowledge where we've come from, acknowledge where we are, and then we can really look forward to the future to design not just the life that we want, but the society and the civilization we want to create together. Because ultimately we are co-creating this experience on this planet. And when we tap into our true potential, we can truly create the life that we want to live. And so in this discussion, I really want to look at what is natural versus what is normal. Now, for so long in our history, we have been doing things that have become normal in life. An example of that is the way that we go to the toilet. We sit on a toilet just like we're sitting on a chair, and we take a poo, when really what is natural is that we would squat. And I'll go into this in greater detail in this talk, but there are many examples of this in our time. The current state of the world, we have to all acknowledge, is out of balance. When we look at, I've had the privilege of traveling across the world and visiting a lot of countries in Asia and Africa, Central and South America, where there are many, many people who are living less than $1 a day. Now, when we see that, there are many people in countries like Australia, where I am, England and Europe, who are earning exponential amounts of money, yet many are still not happy. And so happiness, because I've been to these countries all through Asia, and these are some of the most beautiful and richest in happiness and wealthiest in connection. It's not about the financial wealth in their bank account or in their pocket. They have found a deeper connection to themselves and to their environment, and also with their families and friends and food. And so what is in Western society is this like grind, stress, work, push, separation, the illusion that we have to do it all on our own, and we have to have our separate homes and our separate bathrooms and our separate cars and our separate everything. And it's so often that we don't have this connected, communal, collaborative, creative community aspect. We may have like a community sports team, or a community dinner, or a community dance club, or one of our hobbies, but the integrated way of life seems to be normal that it's separated. Now, we have to really understand the functions and the fundamentals of understanding the toroidal energy field to recognize that everything in the universe has one origin, one source, one intelligence that we are an expression of, and we have polarity and duality based on the electrical energy frequencies of the poles, like negative, positive, yin and yang, male and female, red and blue, and so on and so forth. It extrapolates from there, but we really have to look at how we've actually normalized things that are not natural to a state of being. And an example of this is we have cityscapes where our communal dining experience is in a shopping center, in a food court, where everyone has their own meals and keeps to themselves. Although there is, this conglomerate communal activity that everyone eats at the same place at the same time and eats different things, there is so much disconnection where people don't actually know who they're sitting next to or know where their food came from. And it has become a normal way of life, but it becomes extremely unnatural state of being. And the other example I want to offer up at this time is the squat squatting versus sitting, to really emphasize this point of normal versus natural. So when we look at, going to the toilet, it has become normal for us to sit on a toilet like this here, this lady on the left-hand side. But what happens is the colon and the rectum gets kinked or choked so that the waste can't bypass properly. This can lead a person to feel hemorrhoids or constipation. The waste is incomplete in the elimination process, and it can get stuck there and cause dis-ease in the body. It can literally make you sick because the waste that your body is trying to remove is trying to eliminate, get it out of the body, move forward and feel clean and clear. Yet just by the way that we're sitting, which has become normal, it is not natural. Most people in the world go to the toilet like this lady on the right hand side, and they squat on the ground. Now this allows that particular muscle in the rectum, just after the large colon, the large intestines, before the rectum and before it's eliminated, to relax and release so that there is an easy passageway for the waste to move through. This is just a little example of how far we've come out of our natural cycles and into what's normal is not necessarily abundant or healthy, or most importantly, natural for us to live by. So that's another example that I just wanted to focus on to show you that there are many places where our belief system has become so strong, or our patterns of behavior have become so ingrained and conditioned that that's just what we do. And then we don't realize why we're getting sick, or why we're unhealthy, or why we're not thriving, why we're tired or sick. It's because the normal way that has become our state, going to the toilet on that chair, that become our normal state, is not natural to the human biology or physiology or psychology. And this goes really deeply. We can extrapolate on this concept so much further. And another area of life is in our relationships. I want to express that my story out of Liberated, the New Sexual Revolution, the documentary Netflix, shows how the normal state of being for young adults coming of age, particularly around sexuality, is to be hypersexual. For a man, he's going to be much player and get all the girls and sleep with as many people as he can, right? That has become normal, and that has become celebrated in our culture. Yet we know that that is not a natural state of being. Yes, we are sexual beings, yet naturally that has become evident that that's all a facade. And my story is a testimony to that. Now, we also got to look at the way females behave in that normal system, or that normal culture, which is a season or a cycle, particular season of life that they're coming of age. They've got to look a certain way, feel and look and be sexy and attract the gaze of all the male eyes. Now, that has become a normal way of being. But then what is natural for us? That might not be natural, because they also have many different dimensions to their experience that can be attractive, like their intellectual dimension of human being, maybe their playfulness, their intelligence, their wisdom. That can also be an attractive element, not just the physical appearance. And so the point I'm trying to make here is draw the parallels that there are many examples in our lives where things have become normalized, but they're not naturalized. And what I'm trying to encourage is that we remember who we are, why we're here, so that when we move forward in our lives, we can really start to see how we can apply these simple principles to become better human beings in the world. Now, another example is birthing. We have normalized birthing in a hospitalized situation. That has become the absolute normal in our culture here in the West. And we've got to really look at it. We've actually done that process for hundreds of thousands of years. In fact, what was normal was that we would have a natural birth, but whether it be at home or be it in nature, water, it would be a really sacred journey for women. And that she would have the support of other women around. And as a young man, I don't fully comprehend the experience of what it takes to be a woman. However, being a child and being birthed into the world. I have the experience of being birthed into a hospital, which can be highly traumatic for women and the baby, which can leave an imprint in their life that it literally becomes the pattern of their lives as they move forward, particularly in a moment of transition. So we got to acknowledge that young children in the womb space, it's warm, nurturing, loving, conditions of the mother's environment, of course. But generally, let's say that the mother has this wholesome experience and they have this big, beautiful belly, and they're really eating healthy foods, and they're regulating their emotions in a way. The baby has this nourishing upbringing in the mother's womb. And then this moment comes where the baby drops and begins the process to come out into the world. Now, it can be a scary process because you're going through a vortex, a portal, a tunnel, coming out to realize and see the light, literally see the light of the world and meet other new people. And yes, it can be scary and daunting and wildly beautiful. The moment that baby pokes its head out, it's coming into a whole new world. And depending on that initial first primary imprinting experience of being birthed, whether it be smooth and graceful and easy, or traumatic and prompt with tools and severed open, or however it happens, that can literally be the imprinting pattern that child experiences for the rest of their life. Now, we know this through psychological neuroscientific research that shows the imprint period is from 0 to 10 years old. And although the brain continues to develop throughout a person's life, these are really the key areas where children learn and grow the most. So we've really got to look at how we are, doing what has become normal, but is that really natural and in harmony with our natural cycles and natural state, natural way of being? And these are all just great questions to ponder and to ask and to explore on a deeper level. Now, I'm just scratching the surface in this short video, and I want to encourage you to reflect into our potential and capacity as humans, is this ability to realize, we can look into the future and we can also look back into the past, and we can see how these patterns of nature, these cycles have appeared in our lives for us, for our growth, for our understanding of who we are, why we're here, and where we're going. And that's a really key distinction to make. And I want to encourage you to also explore your life, because ultimately my experience is going to be different to yours, and there are going to be areas and elements that make you realize your journey, what has led you to this point. And it's my intention that these videos become really potent, powerful piece and transmission for you to reflect on a deeper level how we can grow, how we can become more naturalized, how we can return to our natural flavor, our natural essence, and really begin to align our lifestyles with the natural state of being. So I just want to thank you for joining me in this quick video. We've got another video coming up very soon, and I'm really excited that you're taking time out to enjoy this journey. Please leave me a quick comments in the video below, leave us a like, maybe even share this with your friends. I just want to send you out huge love. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.